Hey everybody, it's Ivy. Thanks for tuning in. I'm just saying. Anyway, in the background, we got tribute to Houston. Archie Bell and the Drells doing the Tighten Up. Y'all don't know nothing about this, okay? You don't know nothing about this. I'm just telling you. There's a lot of music that I know that y'all don't know nothing about. But if you don't know, you better ask somebody, okay? All right, so listen. We're going to talk about a few things. So, Archie, I'll get back with you in a minute, okay? You guys just hold the band for a minute. So last week, with some girlfriends, I went to see The Bodyguard's Hitman with Samuel L. Crazy Behind Jackson. Holy mackerel. I really think he must play like the same parts over and over again, except for that one movie that I got a chance to see with him, with that the young white girl that he took care of. Anyway, that one was a little bit different. He was calmer. He wasn't yelling and screaming, but most of the time he's yelling and screaming. Anyway, I like it because even when he gets hurt, he seems to manage to make it through. Anyway, what do you think about my little slave dress that I'm wearing today? It's actually not a slave dress. I call it a plantation dress. I fell in love with this thing. It's a designer dress. It doesn't look like much of anything, but I liked it, so I bought it. Anyway, I'm pooped to pop. I've been running and rushing, and this is a big week, even though there's only 4 days, but I got a lot of stuff that I need to do. Anyway, so I wanted to say about the movie. The movie was good. It was okay. Go see it. You know, it's always, it was funny too. So I liked it. I'm not going to say much about it if you haven't seen it, but you know, go see it. It was interesting. Anyway, they like to do a lot of brainwashing while they're in the movie theater, you know. Buy this, get some popcorn, go get some. Anyway, but I like the movie theater because I think that's the only way I ever sit down to watch a movie is if I'm at a movie theater. And I like the big screen, you know. Me personally, I'm a big screen person. You can get a big screen on TV. Like somebody said, a friend said, well, you know, you got Netflix and you got this. Yeah, sometimes I just need to get out of my house, okay? The other thing I want to talk about, even though I try to stay away from the news, the DACA, the deferred action for childhood arrivals. I don't know, it sounds like a plane landing or something. I don't know. But anyway, so they talk about these 800,000 undocumented students who came over, I guess, with undocumented parents, whatever. Anyway, I'm from Birmingham, Alabama, so maybe I'm not as sensitive to this thing when they interview them and they use this catchphrase, we're going to be separated from our families. Well, you know, the difference between you being separated from your family and what went on for 400 years and the fact that we still need to take blood tests to make sure that we're not marrying a relative, I'm talking Black Americans, is that you will probably know where your parents are and you'll be able to get in touch with them. And you do have some place to go back to. Anyway, and you're welcomed, okay, here. We were just brought over, our ancestors were brought over just to take care of the land that they were going to take from the Indians, that's all. And when people think, you know, and, you know, nothing for nothing, but America's been separating families for centuries. Not days, not years, not weeks, not months. Decades. Centuries. Centuries! Try over 4 of them. Okay, so where did you think you were coming? That all of a sudden, you know, they was, you know, pulling the sled and all of a sudden their heart got real big like the Grinch, you know, who stole Christmas. It's passed down from generation to generation. Presidents have held slaves and have not thought of people who helped to build this daggone country as human beings. You know, when you have a child, when you're enslaved for centuries, you know that that baby, whether they belong to massa or whether they belong to, another slave, is going to be a slave and probably is going to be sold on an auction block where you probably won't ever see them again. In fact, you might even have a baby that might be used to fish for alligators or crocodiles just to make belts and shoes. You may even be picked, which is why we don't use the word picnic, okay? Because Mr. Charlie used that to go pick a nigger to burn for their festivities. If you've not seen Strange Fruit, get busy, okay? There is so much. And I don't know what black people did, because someone posed a question to a radio host. What is it that black Americans did to white people to make them so darn angry? And the answer is probably nothing. But the only thing that the white radio announcer could say is, I don't know, it's a good question. He said, maybe they're afraid of the slave uprising. Well, nobody ever talks about violence. It's important to have a gun. I know how to shoot a gun. I'm from Birmingham, Alabama. You gotta know how to shoot a gun. You need to protect yourself, even as a kid. But it wasn't like you waited for it, like, you just went and instigated and poked. It was just because the hatred that runs deep in the DNA. And these people came over for religious freedom, or because they were let out of jails and they just didn't want them there, or they were mental and they needed to release them somewhere. And so you have some people that are a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs that get into these powerful positions, and they really don't give a darn about anybody. And they certainly don't give a darn about anybody who look like me. I'm just saying. So when other people come over and they see that Statue of Liberty, bring us your tired, your blah, 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 most of the people who look like me that are black American did not come by way of Ellis Island. They came by a slave ship where, it was so tight, it was ridiculous. Some people would rather kill themselves. Let's not ever forget that. But we are also the invisible people because nobody wants to talk about us. Just mix them up with something else and maybe they'll eventually go away. Go with somebody who's Asian, and eventually, you won't look like a black person. And, here, take this black woman and, here, white man, have some babies with her. And maybe later on down the line, we can eventually erase them. So that they don't look like who they really are. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And then it comes back later on to haunt you, perhaps maybe a couple of generations later. Either way, it's not the kids' fault. I don't even blame the DACA kids. Their parents probably knew what they were doing. Everything is always calculated. Everybody wears a masquerade. But please, 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 please. It's like I told, what's his name? Chris Matthews one time when the Latino people were saying, it's just like what the black Americans went through. It's like, no. What we went through for 400 years, our ancestors, you could never compare. Nobody could ever compare. And then people say, yeah, but you guys weren't the only slaves. Well, we were the only ones here in America that was treated like crap for centuries, and if you're supposed to be the elite race, the superior race, what makes your heart so horrible that you feel like you could even do that to people and continue to do it? You don't live in big mansions because, you built them and you worked so hard for them. Most of the time you live in them because if I or my family got 400 years of free labor, free landscaping, free babysitting, free cooking, free driving. Are you kidding me? I'd be living in a mansion too. Driving some fine cars. Ruling and controlling in control. But when you're afraid that you're going to lose something, we can't let them have it. They might take over. They take over everything. Well, we're not the ones that take over, okay? We're not the ones who take over. You took our language, took the language, you took everything, separated the families. And now all of a sudden, every time you turn around, everyone's so concerned. Oh, they're breaking up the families. Oh, these poor people. My heart bleeds so much. Oh, give me a break. Everybody's just fooling themselves. The politicians, everybody. We're going to make sure that we're going to sue if, come on. I'm not saying that some of the people aren't good. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that the majority, how in the world did Donald Trump get into the White House if white people didn't vote him in? And even some blacks and even some Latinos. I'm just saying, he got in there. Somebody wanted him. He's the president of these United States of America, regardless of whether you think he's an embarrassment or not. More people voted for him than voted against him. Oh, well, he didn't get the popular vote. He's the president of the United States, period. So now you have to deal with it. So if he says he's going to build a wall, that's what he got in on. If he says he's going to, get rid of the illegal immigrants, because people like to say, oh, a day without immigrants will teach you, America. All your businesses are going to fold. Well, to be honest with you, nothing for nothing, but I did not see one business go out of business. I didn't see one business go out of business when they had a day without immigrants. A day without illegal immigrants, because a lot of people are immigrants. They came over to the country. They got their papers. They got sworn in. We used to do it all the time at Marist. Swam in a minute. They know more about the American history, some of them, than some of the people do that are living and have been in America. But you have to do it the right way. You can't keep pouring juice into 32 ounces of juice into a 4-ounce cup. You got to clear it out a little bit. You got to make room and organize things. I don't know. You may not agree with me, but listen, I don't know what to tell you. I just think that we have a lot going on in America that we haven't taken care of. We have too many American children that are going to bed hungry every night. We have too many American children not getting an education. And then they say they got 8,000 DACAs and they're gonna lose X amount of millions of dollars. They throw these daggone stats out. They don't know. I mean, you can make up any numbers and throw them out. Oh, we have 1 million, undocumented people. They're going to be in hiding. They're not in hiding. You want to know where they are? A lot of them are in school. They have kids in school. If you really want them, listen. Look at what the Jews did to the Germans did to the Jews. It didn't matter if they had homes or if they had businesses. They know where everybody is. America, pretty diabolical. You know where every single illegal immigrant is. I'm probably guaranteeing you. Okay? They're going to be at those churches. Their kids are going to be in school. They're going to be working at the fast food restaurants. They're going to be shining shoes at the Grand Central. They're going to be all those places. They're not in hiding. And if you really wanted them, if ICE really wanted to go in and get them, they could. So even though, we live in some pretty wild days right now. Okay, the weather's gone crazy. A man got stabbed in the eye with an umbrella in California. The umbrellas went crazy. They were flying all over the daggone beach. Kids running, screaming. Everybody's running, trying to hide from the umbrellas because they had a microburst. And a microburst comes out of nowhere, trust me. They even knocked over a daggone palm tree. Do you know how hard it is to knock over a palm tree? Again, it's those invasive species coming in from other countries that's burrowing those holes down there and eating up the roots of the trees. Because a palm tree can withstand a daggone hurricane all the time. You see them, they bend right over and touch the ground and pop right back up again. Yeah, I like to think I'm a palm tree. If I was a tree, I'd like to be a palm tree. You can bend me, but you can't break me. Now they got palm trees falling up out the root. Did you see it? Anyway, So those are one of the things, some of the things I want to talk about. The other one is just the weather. And yeah, I've talked about everything I need to talk about because I have a big week coming up. I hope to see you guys again. Please tune in and like this, subscribe, and make a comment, but make a positive comment. Please make it a positive comment. We don't need any more negativity in this world. But I mean, I do have to speak the truth because I'm just saying, you ain't got to agree with me. You ain't got to agree with nothing I say. You ain't even got to listen to nothing that I have to say. But subscribe and subscribe and like it. All right, talk to you later. We're gonna finish this.
Yeah. Now let that guitar fall in.
Come on, guitar.
Oh yeah. Tighten up on the organ.
Tighten it up, America. Please tighten it up. I'm just saying. See you in a couple of days, okay? Love you much. Bye now.